What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I'm here once again to drop my best bets on this upcoming slate of the NBA to take you through a deep dive to give you insights and analysis you're not going to see anywhere else. And I do all this to help you make the best bets possible. Now, before we jump into it, we've got a bit to celebrate. We've got to recap the last video. Now, in the last video, I did share 4 bets that I already had down. We also went through a lot of others, a lot of leans, and let's talk about it. Firstly, Şengün. We took over his rebounds prop. We didn't take his points, his assists, nothing like that, but he was eaten, and we hit the rebounds prop, so we cashed there. We took Ant over 3.5 3-pointers made. I think he finished with 5 or 6. He absolutely killed it. Jalen Duren over 10.5 points. He did cash that despite finding foul trouble once again. And we also took Draymond Green over 7.5 points. I think he finished on 13. My man been stroking it. What a donkey. Let's go. So 4-0 on those picks that gave out on the last video. We did go through a lot of leans, and thankfully someone in the comment section, you know who you are, took the liberty to take track of all those. I think all those leans I shared, they went 15 and 8 or something like that. At the end of the day, they were good looks. If you followed all of those, you would have made a bit of money too. But VIP also cashed in, and I thought the easiest way for me to explain it to you would be to show you. So these are the 4 that I shared on the video. I also shared some first quarter points prop, Vucevic and Harden. These were some of the leans we spoke about on the video that I was going to take. Jalen Johnson, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, and Jalen Suggs cashed that. And then on some risky stuff, man, it was killer. Took Dyson Daniels, the Great Barrier Thief, they're calling him. 3, 4, and 5 steals. We got some crazy profits there. Took Devin Booker under 21.5 points. I was like plus 300. Joel Embiid under his points, under his rebounds. I was like plus 350. Cam Thomas, we took him for 30 and 35 points. And my main call out here is that these cup games, absolute bangers. I'm telling you, when the next set of cup games is on, we're going to unload the tank because these guys playing to the very last minute. I wish the NBA was like that every day, but what can you do? But a pretty good day. If you're interested in checking out VIP, which is every single bet that I place, you can check that out in the video link below. But let's get into today's video, shall we? Now, let's go. So we're jumping into props madness. Now, this is the best tool you're going to find if you like betting on NBA player props. It's got all the basic features that you need, but it's got some real advanced stuff as well. The filtering's amazing, and the more data it collects, the better it gets. So if you're interested in checking it out, there's a 7-day free trial in the video description below, and if you use the code DAFT, you'll get 25% off. Now, let's talk about it. We've only got a 5-game slate today. Thank God. I'm not going to spend hours and hours doing my research here, but look, I probably will. But let's talk about it. I've got 4 bets that I managed to get down already, and hopefully we can go 4-0 once again. What's going to help us get that 4-0 is if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's a little bit of bait. That's probably not going to make a difference at all, but I do appreciate you guys if you do. We're close to 12,000 subscribers, so help your boy out. Now, I've got 2 bets in this first game between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Charlotte Hornets. The first bet that I do have is on Giannis, though. His points prop, 35.5. This man is an absolute machine, and I probably lean to the over in his points prop. But the bet that I'm going to throw down today, looking at his assist prop, 6.5 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Absolutely crazy. I managed to get this at minus 115. It's still there at Bet365 as the time of our recording, but this blind's going to move to 7.5, I believe, anyway. So let's talk about it. He's over this line in 5 out of 11 games this season, averaging 5.5 assists. Nothing too crazy going on there. We do know that Dame is out, though. No Dame, more Giannis time. 2 games without Dame this season, 7 assists in both games. One of these games against the Raptors, 22 potential assists. We just need the guys to make some shots here. So Giannis, his point line's at 35.5. He's going to be barreling into the lane, dunking on kids all night. They're going to collapse eventually, and when they do, Giannis is going to be forced to kick this thing out. They don't have any shot creators on that team right now, so Giannis is going to have to do everything. He's going to drive the bus to the arena. He's going to dunk on some kids. He's going to dye them up. He's going to wash the clothes once the game's done. And he's probably going to prepare the ice bath afterwards too. Giannis going to do everything in this game. So out of all of his props, I do like his assist prop the most. 6.5 is a very reasonable line. Now, if you look at the data last season between Giannis and the Charlotte Hornets, doesn't look overly impressive when it comes to assists. But one thing you got to keep in mind, in this first game, we had 3 assists. They won by 36 points. Giannis only played 24 minutes. The next game, they won by 38. Giannis only plays 24 minutes. Then the third game, they won by 12. Giannis plays 33, gets 14 potential assists and 5 assists. But Dame did play in that. So we're going to see no Dame in this one. The spread's only 4, so I think Charlotte can keep it close. Giannis going to play 35 to 40 minutes tonight. He's going to hand in everything, and I think he covers the 6.5 assists. My next pick in the same game, looking at LaMelo Ball, looking to take his points prop here. Now, LaMelo is averaging 29.9 on the season. He's covered this line of 27.5 in 7 out of 11 games. He has an excellent matchup here against Milwaukee, who not good at defending the perimeter, not good at defending guards. You can see it in this shot chart right here. Very weak on the perimeter. And if you look at LaMelo's, 51% of his points come from above the break. In terms of play style, pick and roll, spot up, transition, all looking good here for LaMelo Ball. I honestly love it. I think 27.5 is quite low, considering he's averaging almost 30 a game, and he's playing a team which defense is well below the average across the league. So I do like that. If that didn't give you enough confidence to take the bet, maybe this will. And this is something that you can only do on Props Madness. So I've got this filter set on the pick and roll defense. We know the Bucks aren't great at that. If we just exclude the top 10 teams in the league and how they defend the pick and roll from these filters, and we exclude the top 15 teams at defending above the break, we know Milwaukee don't defend very well up there. Actually, not even that. That's too many teams. Even if we just filter out the top 10 teams there. So this is how LaMelo Ball's played against the bottom 20 teams this season, who don't defend the pick and roll well and don't defend above the break. And check out this hit rate. 100% hit rate for LaMelo Ball, averaging 34 points per game. We're talking about teams like Atlanta, Boston, Indiana, Philly, and now the Bucks all fit in the same category in terms of how they defend. So LaMelo, his matchup is amazing in this one. So I do like that. My next play, we head to the Western Conference, and I'm going to the Lestat Patter. We're going for LeBron James. Now, I did have a lean. I told you guys he was going to be tracing a triple-double again, and he made it happen. Like, if this guy wants to get the stats, he's going to get it. And I was considering doing it again. I'll be honest with you, the lean that I had was this rebounds plus assists. He's gone over that in 4 straight games now. But what I ultimately landed on here is LeBron James to get over 9.5 assists. Now, specifically assists, because if I muck around with these filters, someone who's very important to his assist output is Anthony Davis. So we want to have the games where LeBron and AD played. And look at that. The last 5 games that LeBron's played with AD, actually you make it 6 because it doesn't include today's game starter. 6 straight games where LeBron's had 10 plus assists with AD in the lineup. It looks like after they got slapped against the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron's been on a diming mission. He's been diming up everybody. So I do like LeBron James to keep doing what he has been doing to rack up some stats, get the over in his assists. And I'll most likely have a value play on LeBron to get 10 rebounds, 10 assists as well up against the Pelicans because, my man's going to chase stats. That's pretty much the way it is. You got to respect his game. He's a beast. He's a machine. I still don't like him, but the man can get some stats, and that's all we're betting on here. So LeBron to get 10 assists in this one. I do like that. And my very last play that I have, heading over to the Utah Jazz versus Sacramento Kings, I'm taking John Collins. I like his over 15.5 points. Now, Walker Kessler is out for this one, so John Collins gets the start again. Lauri Markkanen is also a game time decision, and if he's out, that's just a whole lot of usage for John Collins in this one. So John Collins, he's only covered this line of 15.5 in 5 out of 11 games. He's averaging 18 points per game this season. He's had a few standout games, and what do all these games have in common? Someone was out missing. It's either Walker Kessler's been out or Lauri Markkanen's been out. And if they're out, John Collins gets more minutes and opportunities, and John Collins eats. Now, he scored 18 points against the Sacramento Kings earlier this season with Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler present in the lineup. But the main thing, angle we're going here, is John Collins going to get minutes. And check John Collins' numbers out when he sees at least 30 minutes a game in this season. Boom, 28, 29, and 28 points. Your boy's been killing it. Now, if we think about the matchup for John Collins, in terms of how he likes to score as a spot-up shooter, this is great. Sacramento allows spot-up shooters to get buckets all over them. The challenge in this is he scores lots of points in the restricted area. The Sacramento Kings team actually allows the fewest points in the league around the basket. So that makes it a little bit difficult for John Collins. But I think just due to volume, minutes, and opportunities, 15.5 points, he should be able to cover that with ease. So I do like that. John Collins to go over his points prop. He did it early against him this season. He did it with only 23 minutes played. He still took 16 shots in that game. Only shot 44% from the field, so he wasn't efficient. And I expect something similar. He should take between 17 to 20 shots, I believe, especially if Laurie Markkinen's going to be out. He's going to get the volume. His percentages might not be great, but I think he's going to shoot the ball enough to cover 15.5 points. Sacramento on a back-to-back after playing overtime. I think John Collins can catch him sleeping. So I do like John Collins over his points prop. So that's the 4 bets that I've already got down. Knowing me, I'll probably still end up with about 10. My Lord, I had so many bets on today, and what I found is just betting on volume's the way to go. I'm not good at telling you which ones are my favorite, which ones are more likely to hit from the bets that I do choose. So I'm just going to bet them all. Who gives a shit? If provided we make money at the end of the day, it's going to happen. Pump the brakes real quick. Firstly, to thank you for clicking on this video and thank you for sticking around. I honestly do appreciate it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop any comment you possibly can in that comment section for the algorithm and help me push this video out to more people. The second thing I want to hit you up about is Dabble Fantasy. Now, I need you guys to check it out. Not only if you sign up, make your first deposit, am I going to get a bit of a kickback? If you do sign up with them, they're going to give you 25 bucks. No deposit required. They're just going to give you a free $25 to play with. Another excellent feature about Dabble that not many people have is a copy feature. So I'm going to put this up on the screen right now. Basically, this guy shared a play. It was a 100x payout, right? Not only did he win this 100x payout, but 120 other people copied this. Dabble were cooked for $26,000 by this one play. And what you can do on Dabble is you can go to the banter section, or you can search for whoever's performing very well, and you can follow them and you can copy their bets. And that's something crazy about Dabble. You guys need to check it out. $26,000 this slip alone robbed from Dabble because 120 people copied it. I think it's a really great feature, and I encourage you guys to check it out. The link for Dabble is in the video description below. If you want to use my code, use the code DAFT when you sign up. Now let's get into some deep dives and analysis. So one thing I wanted to do, actually, given that it's a relatively new part of Props Madness, is just to hammer some first quarter points props. I hit a couple of those today, and I wanted to take you through a couple of looks. I haven't bet on any of these just yet, but these are some that I'm considering. So I thought I'd share the wealth with you guys. The very first one, we're heading into the Spurs versus the Mavericks. I did call this out last time, but Klay Thompson in the first quarter is a fucking animal as of late. Check out the numbers right here. He's covered his first quarter points prop of 3.5 in 5 consecutive games now, 8 out of 12 games on the season. The games that he didn't cover in are teams that defend above the break really well. So all pretty tough matchups. This San Antonio team, still bottom 10 in defending above the break. They're somewhat decent at limiting spot-up shooters, but Klay Thompson, we need 1-3 and some sort of layup, and I think he can get it done. So it's a lean to the over here for Klay Thompson. It's that simple, that straightforward. He's playing between 7 and 9 minutes in the first quarter. And by the looks at the volume, he's always going to take between 3 and 5 shots in that first quarter. So we need to get 2 buckets from Klay Thompson. Given how many threes he shoots, we just need to get 2 buckets in order for him to cover the 3.5. I think that's one good look that I like. Another one is for LaMelo Ball. Now, his is at 6.5, but you can get it at 5.5 in some places. But check out LaMelo Ball this season. He's only covered in 5 out of 11 as of late. He been cooking, though. It's actually not as reliable now that I look at it. So if someone's writing down the leans, do not write LaMelo Ball over his first quarter. He has hit in 4 out of his last 5, which is nice. But yeah, I don't know. This shit at the start of the season concerns me a little bit, you could say. But coming into this game, the form's not too bad. He's taking 4 to 5 shots in the first quarter. At 5.5, I could be entertained given how many 3-pointers this man's shooting. In all the games where he's covered this prop, he made multiple 3-pointers in that first quarter. So the matchup is a real good one for LaMelo. I think there's a good chance that he hits that. But let me take a look at what else we got. How about this man? Let's have a look at Anthony Davis. His point line's at 8.5 in the first quarter, 6 out of his last 10. He's covered this in 4 out of his last 5. Actually, 5 out of his last 6 because he scored 16 points in the first quarter against San Antonio today. The matchup's pretty decent. The Pearls pretty good at limiting the pick and roll, but they are completely undersized, and I think Anthony Davis could take advantage of that, I would assume so. You find with most teams, they look to get the bigs involved early, and then later in the game, they tend to go away from them. So Anthony Davis in the first quarter, 8.5 does seem a little bit high. 7.5, I'd probably be all over it. 8.5 means we're going to need an extra basket from him or some free throws. So I'm not as confident in it, but the hit rate on it is nice. One that I might bet on. So I do like this one. Where is it? Jazz versus the Kings is Keegan Murray. So his one's at 3.5. 3.5 is a great number. It means you just need 2 buckets. 2 buckets and you're over. Now, he's hit this in 9 out of 12 games this season. He's averaging 5.4 points per game in the first quarter. He's played Utah already, and in that game, 5 points in the first quarter. He was 2 from 4. So for the most part, he's taking about 4 to 5 shots in the first quarter. And yeah, so I think Keegan Murray is probably a good one. I do like that one. If I had to bet it, that's one that I'm definitely leaning on. To be honest, I'm going to bet it. Um, Actually, another one in the Lakers game. So the AD one, I'm not completely sold on, but one I could be entertained with here is Austin Reeves. Look at this guy. I actually spotted this a few days ago, and I thought maybe it's a recency thing, but no, Austin Reeves cooks. 8 out of 10 games this season, he's gone over 3.5 points in the first quarter. He's averaging 4.8 points. And Austin Reeves, very similar to a lot of guards out there, tends to make a lot of threes early in the game when his legs are fresh. So Austin Reeves to go over 3.5, I think that's a really interesting look. His matchup's not bad at all against the Pelicans today. So I do like that one. There's another one, and it's for Luka. Luka's at 6.5, and the only reason I'm calling it 6.5 is that it's relatively low to where it normally sits. Like Luka used to be an 8.5, 9.5 first quarter type of guy. 6.5 is relatively low. So he's hit this in 7 out of 12, averaging 8 a game, but his hit rate lately has been excellent, been starting off games quite strong. 6 out of his last 7 games he went over. The game where he went under, scored 5 points, but still took 5 shots. Missed a free throw in there as well. His volume's very good. Just taking a look at it now, he's going to take between 5 and 9 shots in the first quarter up against the San Antonio Spurs. Now, he did play them earlier this season in the opener. He still took 5 shots in that game, but he was only 1 from 5, so he didn't shoot very well. But Luka at 6.5, I honestly don't mind that. I think it's a pretty low line for someone with such high volume. But that's all I've got in terms of first quarter points prop. So let me know in the comment section, would you like to see a designated spot in these videos every day committed just to first quarter points props or not? Let me know. If you have any ideas, just drop them in the comment section. Very flexible as to how I deliver these bets. For me, the main thing I want to do is give out the bets that I've already placed and then provide any value that I can possibly think of. So whether it's first quarter points props, the deep dives, plays with the best matchups, plays with the best hit rates, whatever it is, you just let me know in the comment section. I'll see what I can do to accommodate y'all. Now let's get back into the deep dive, shall we? I think for the deep dive today, I'll just take you through the plays which have the best hit rates, really strong hit rates, because as I scan these games and I think about the core players, I've already, most likely, I would have bet on it already if I liked it, or I didn't like it at all. So I'd be wasting your time by just hammering through the key players. So let's see if I can provide you some value and just smash on some high hit rates for you. All right, so we're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Charlotte Hornets. Now, if we're looking at hit rates, one that's got a pretty good hit rate is fading Josh Green in his PRA. So if we take a look at that, his PRA is set at 10.5. He's only gone over this in 2 out of 9 games this season. So he's still playing a decent number of minutes, though. His minutes haven't changed throughout the whole year. He's playing between 20 to 25, 28 minutes a game. But my man just out there running around. You know what I'm saying? Now, he does have a good matchup here against the Milwaukee Bucks, which is somewhat of a concern. But if we check to see if he's had similar matchups, we can definitely do that. So in terms of spot-up shooting, he's had 1 game against a really poor team at defending spot-up shooting, which is Toronto. He scored 9 points in that game. So that could be a bit of a red flag. And then if we look at how teams defend above the break threes, so it's a good matchup for him to score some points, actually. I wonder if his rebounds and assist line could be a good one. Yeah, it could be. Look at that. 4.5 for his rebounds and assists. He's only gone over this in 2 out of 9 games. The matchup, somewhat decent, though. The Bucks not very good at anything, really. But Josh Green, I doubt he does too much rebound, too much assisting based on the line. His rebound chances aren't very high, and his potential assists aren't very high either. So I could be twisted into taking it under there for Josh Green. I think that's a really interesting one. Now, here's one I spotted earlier. I just didn't know if I could buy it or not. And it's something to do with Giannis. And I'm looking at something with a crazy hit rate this season, right? Something that Giannis has done extremely well this season. Well, it's not that he's take care of the ball, you could say. Well, he's averaging 2.8 turnovers a game. But the line that they have set in this game is at 4.5. Which is crazy. 4.5. It's only minus 110 to the under. And the under has hit in 10 out of the 11 games this season for Giannis. So I'm trying to think of like, where does this come from? So I'm checking this page, teamrankings.com, and I'm looking at opponent turnovers per game to see like, why is this line so high? And Charlotte, they're bottom six in the league in terms of opponent turnovers. So it's not like they cause a lot of turnovers themselves. My only thought process for this line for Giannis is that charging fouls are turnovers, and he's going to be attacking the rim a lot without Dame, you could say. And does that mean he's going to turn the ball over a lot more? Maybe if I look at last season's head-to-head numbers, and even then, he had fuck all turnovers against them last season. So yeah, it's not a historical trend. It's not a trend on the season. I don't know if this has been mispriced or not. So if you guys can help me out, what the hell's going on here? But for now, this might be a bet that I take. Giannis not to get a turnover. I'm not to get 5 turnovers, minus 110 to the under. I think it's a crazy mispriced line, perhaps. But yeah, help me out. Why is this turnover line for Giannis so high? Fuck it. I've added it to my bet slip. I'll probably take that. The hit rate's too good, and I don't understand why. So we're just going to bet it, right? So Giannis, that's got an amazing hit rate. There are others with amazing hit rates within this game, but it's a little bit distorted. Some of these are bench players who've been playing off the bench who have now been promoted. But let's jump into the next game. It's the Raptors versus the Celtics. Now, hopefully we can find some consistency in this one from some of these guys. But looking at hit rates, what do we have? I know we've got Davion Mitchell and his rebounds. His rebound line is 2.5. He's hit this in 6 out of his last 10, but 5 out of his last 6 games. And these are the games without Emmanuel Quickly. Davion Mitchell getting a bigger run, more minutes, more opportunities. Boston, they shoot a lot of three-pointers, which means should be a lot of long rebounds to guards. We can see here, looking at the last 10 guards to play the Celtics, 7 of the 10 went over their rebound line in that game. So I think Davion Mitchell to get rebounds, that's a really interesting look. I don't know if I'll bet it myself, but the hit rate speaks for itself. Oh, shit, another one. And it's only because he had a big game today, would be Jakob Poeltl I'd be thinking about. And this one's probably not even on hit rates. It's just given the fact that Boston are so small inside, you could say. I just wonder if Jakob Poeltl could destroy them inside, because he scores a lot in the pick and roll. Boston pretty good at defending the pick and roll, though. Scoring in the restricted area. Boston somewhat soft. So the matchup's not extremely ideal. I think if you're casually just thinking, because they don't have a true center in there, you could say that it's going to be easy, but it's not like similar players have been killing him. Clint Capella had that one amazing game where he's efficient as hell. Outside of that, not too much damage being done. Another player that could be a nice one is on Jason Tatum. Looking at maybe his points plus assists. Maybe his points. The hit rate is great, but check this out. The spread is 16.5. Boston not blowing everybody out when they're supposed to, but definitely they could make it happen. The person I actually want to look at is on Peyton Pritchard or Sam Hauser, but their lines aren't available. Probably be something I need to look at in the morning, but Peyton Pritchard, I think, would be an interesting one. For the Raptors, there's no consistency, I would say, in terms of hit rates that they have right now, because players keep going in and out of the lineup. But at first glance, is there anyone else that I would look at? Grady Dick's got a tough as hell matchup. RJ Barrett, he'll get a high usage rate, but he's going to get a lot of attention. He's going to have a great defender on him all night. And as of late, hasn't been performing as well, with or without Emmanuel Quickly. Hasn't been absolutely killing it. His assist line at 5.5. If we look at the games just without Emmanuel Quickly, his hit rate's pretty good. 5 out of 8 games without Emmanuel Quickly in the lineup. He's gone over this, but he's up against the Celtics today. They don't allow too many assists at all. So tough matchup there for RJ Barrett. And given the blowout potential, I'm not overly excited to bet on Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. But maybe their first quarter point props could be interesting. But Tatum's at 8.5. It's a high-ass line. He's hitting 8 out of 13 games. And if we look at the games with Jaylen Brown, Tatum's only hitting 5 out of 9. So that gives me less confidence. And if we look at Jaylen Brown's numbers in the first quarter, his line's at 5.5, but he's only hit this in 4 out of 9 games, often taking the back seat. So, yeah, no real looks on this Boston Celtics team. Peyton Pritchard probably be the one, but we need to wait to see if his lines become available before we can bet that. Now we're looking at the Lakers versus the Pelicans. We spoke about LeBron possibly getting a triple double. You can look at AD getting points if you want to. Like that hit rate is amazing. He killed the Spurs today. Pelicans don't have the size inside, but you probably don't need me to take you through Anthony Davis. It's probably one of the most obvious ones to look at. One that's been hitting quite well lately is a Austin Reeves, and it's his assist prop. It's moved to 5.5. So you can still get it at 4.5 in some places. And the 4.5, he has cash in 4 straight games now. But yeah, the hit rate on that isn't too bad. The Pelicans given up a whole lot of assists too, but I'm already betting on LeBron's assists. I don't want to bet on another player on the same team to get the same stats. So Austin Reeves assists, I'll probably pass on, but you could take a pivot to points plus assists. He's been cashing that out quite well as well. 4 consecutive games, actually 5 consecutive games if you include today's. So Austin Reeves been cashing out. Javonte Green. Now you could look at fading Javonte Green in his PRA 14.5. He's gone under in every single game this season, averaging 9.2. But the Pelicans obviously impacted by a lot of injuries, and with those injuries come more opportunities for him. But they've been missing a lot of key players for quite some time. Javonte Green been playing steady minutes for a while now, hasn't been able to make it happen. He is up against the Lakers though, but who not great defensively on the season. But I got to tell you, they are looking a little bit better each and every game. JJ Redick working his magic. So Javonte Green, under 14.5 PRA, 100% hit rate on the season. He's not going to get any extra minutes today than he has been getting lately. So that's a real interesting look, in my opinion. Javonte Green under in his PRA. I don't know. I feel like this is too obvious. It's got a 100% hit rate. Could be a trap, right? But I think that's a really interesting one. Do your research. Be sure to check that shit out. Another play which has an excellent hit rate is Rui Hachimura. Looking at his rebounds, check this out. 4.5 is the line for Rui. He's hit this in 8 out of 10 games this season, up against a Pelicans team who lacks a little bit of size. They do limit the volume of rebounds, and that's purely because they play really slow, which doesn't make too much sense to me. Given their lack of size, I'd imagine they play quick. But regardless, the hit rate here for Rui is fantastic, but the line's a little bit lower. He's a game time decision as well. So I probably wouldn't take any bets on Rui unless we know he's going to be in. But I think that's a really interesting look for Rui Hachimura. Outside of that, the other things I've already called out. Your ADs, your LeBron assists. I think those are the main things. Dalton Connect, he could be someone who gets ample extra time if the Lakers manage to cover the spread for once in their bloody lives. But yeah, not overly excited by that. Let's talk about Spurs and Mavericks. Now, I think we've got to talk about Victor Wembanyama, who's been playing out of his skin as of late. Got that 50 piece against the Wizards, scored quite a few points against the Lakers today as well. So he's definitely turned a corner. Now he's up against Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, and the Dallas Mavericks. Don't have the size to hang with Victor. Both of them do like a bit of drop coverage as well. So I think Wembanyama is going to get all the open looks that he wants to from above the break. Dallas pretty good at limiting points from above the break, but how many of Victor Wembanyama's 3-point attempts are actually going to be contested, right? So I think threes could be a really interesting look. I'm just checking the box score from the game today where he played against the Lakers to see how he went from downtown, because scored 6 on Utah, 6 on Sacramento, 8 on the Wizards, which is just crazy. Wonder how many threes Victor hit today against the Lakers. He scored 28 points, 14 rebounds, made 4 3-pointers, 4 from 13. So I expect Victor to let him fly again. He's taken 10 plus 3-pointers in 3 consecutive games. His 3-point line is at 2.5. Are you fucking joking? I'm going to get on that straight away. Victor Wembanyama to make 2.5, to make 3 3-pointers when he's going to take about 12 of those motherfuckers. Hell yeah. Let's go, Slender Man. I'm glad I looked. All right. So Victor's points prop at 24.5. Like, I'd lean to the over, but I really like the 3-pointers prop a lot better. In terms of rebounds, he's still inconsistent as hell, up and down. 6 rebounds against Washington. I feel like he should have got 100. But then against the Lakers, he had 14. So he's a little bit difficult to read. Luka, probably not playing as well as he has been in the past, still racking up stats, but any bet on Luka feels really stressful to me, given how high the lines are, the fact that he's playing injured, and the fact that Kyrie can go off at any moment, right? So Kyrie's point line's at 22.5. He's hit this in 6 out of 11 games. His matchup is not too bad today. but nothing's jumping out to me here like as if I actually love it to death. CP3, we can take a look at his assist prop real quick. 8.5 is the line. He's hitting 8 out of 12 games. Dallas, they do leak a lot of assists right now. Bottom 7 in the league in terms of assists allowed. So 8.5, it does seem quite high though, I've got to tell you. But he did just get 11 assists against the Lakers as well. So 4 straight games that he's gone over this line. 9 out of 13 games on the season. He had 8 assists when he versed the Dallas Mavericks earlier this season. 17 potentials, but that was with no Devin Vassell. Now, Devin Vassell gives him a real shooting threat from outside. So if we just look at the game since Devin Vassell's come back, 9, 11, and 11. I think this Spurs offense is looking so much better now than it did at the start of the season as well. So, yeah, CP3 over in his assists. That could be something that I'm willing to fuck around with. So, I don't mind that at all. Just double checking now to see what other amazing hit rates there are, and one's for Victor Wembanyama. Would you believe his points prop is only at 2.5? How crazy is that? It's juiced to the max. Minus 145, your best odds for Victor Wembanyama. But he's hit 2.5 blocks in 10 out of 12 games this season. Had actually 10 out of 13. He had 2 blocks against the Lakers today. And he's up against Dallas, who do run a lot of pick and roll. He might be able to catch Gafford a couple times, maybe a Lively. But yeah, I'm not a fan of betting on blocks, but the hit rate here for Victor Wembanyama to cash this is pretty good. Another player with a good hit rate is Klay Thompson, and it's not got nothing to do with shooting. Rebounds and assists. Check this out for Klay. Whooshka. 9 out of the 12 games he's played this season, he's gone over. He's averaging 5.8 rebounds and assists. He had 8 rebounds and assists against the Spurs earlier this season, so 7 boards for Klay Thompson. The hit rate on this is fantastic as well. The odds for it, not terrific though. So you probably have to match it with something else to improve the odds. Who knows? You might want to put it with Victor's blocks perhaps. But the hit rate on Klay Thompson's rebounds and assists at this line is pretty fantastic. I don't mind that one at all. And then another one, last one in this game, which is relatively new, I'd say is this, Stephon Castle over his points plus assist line, 14.5. He's covered this in 5 consecutive games. Against the Lakers today, 22 points, 5 assists, which is 27 points and assists. So 5 consecutive games he's gone over since he's joined the starting lineup. Jeremy Sohan, he's still out, so Stephon Castle's still going to see more runtime, I believe. Vassell, they're happy running him off the bench. So Stephon Castle to go over his points plus assists. I could be talked into that. The matchup's not a real difficult one for him against the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas have been a little bit loose as of late. One thing I'm interested to check here is like I can see he's playing more minutes, and I knew that from Jeremy Sohan being out. But checking his usage rate hasn't necessarily changed. The biggest difference here is he's just seeing more minutes, more shots, more potential assist numbers. So I think I like the Stephon Castle play, points plus assists, more than CP3 to get his assists, I'd say. I don't mind that at all, Stephon Castle. Let's go. Fuck, these deep dives are awesome. Hopefully you guys like them. All right, let's jump into the last game. It's a Utah Jazz versus the Sacramento Kings. What do we got? I've already got a bet here on John Collins. I think we spoke about that a little bit earlier. De'Aaron Fox just exploded for 60 points today, up against Utah for the second time this season. He only scored 19 in the first game, but I think DeMar DeRozan might be back. And if DeMar DeRozan is back, it fucks up everything. He's a game time decision, but looks like he's pretty unlikely to play. So 26.5 matchup, somewhat difficult. Utah are good at limiting points in the pick and roll. They also limit points in the paint to some extent. Actually, that's not true at all. They're shit at that. What am I talking about? So De'Aaron Fox, I wouldn't put it past him to score 26.5 points. It's got nothing to do with data, though. The data, not reliable, especially DeMar DeRozan hanging around. But not absolutely loving too much of what I'm seeing here. Kevin Huerter's one that I did think about. Now that I think about it, 11.5 is his line. He scored 14 against Utah earlier this season. He scores a lot of his points from the outside, and Utah don't defend the perimeter very well. That's a very straightforward play. But let's talk about plays with an amazing hit rate. Firstly, on the season, and I hate to say it, but a Lauri Markkanen under points and rebounds. Check this out. His points and rebounds lines at 26.5. He's gone under this in every single game outside of the opener. So 7 consecutive games from Lauri, and he's gone under this, averaging 19.3 points and rebounds in that stretch. Did play the Sacramento Kings, but only had 17 minutes. Scored 7 points, had 3 rebounds. If he was expected to play 34 minutes based off those numbers, he would have hit around 20. So it's not like Lauri Markkanen is killing him at the moment. The back playing up on him. He is a game time decision in this, which is good because it tells us that there's another injury, and it looks like it's his eye. Got hit. It was a nose injury, but apparently it's his eye that's all fucked up. So give me Lauri Markkanen with a sore back and a fucked up eye. I'll take the under on his points and rebounds. I'm going to add that to my slip right now. Fuck you, Laurie. See, this is the dangerous thing about doing these deep dives. I already had 4 bets, which I think is a lot. Now that we're diving in a little bit deeper, I've already found another 3. So, but I am a volume better after all. Not looking for 100% hit rate, just looking to make enough of the right bets on a consistent basis. So Laurie at 26.5 is only available on DraftKings at the moment. It's 25.5 everywhere else. That does improve his hit rate slightly, getting it done against Dallas and against the San Antonio Spurs. Up against Sacramento today. They're pretty good at limiting points of coming off screens. I just wonder if they catch him napping. And similar types of players have absolutely cooked them by position. Maybe I won't bet on Laurie points and rebounds. It's probably best that I don't. I've got a lot of bets down already. All right, I'm not betting on Laurie. But what else has a great hit rate this season? And actually, this is one that I looked at the other day. Last time I did this type of deep dive, and I didn't take it. But it's under 1.5 steals and blocks for Keegan Murray. This is a plus money play. It was a plus money play last time as well. And check it out. He's gone under in 10 out of 12 games on the season. Let me double check the box score from today's game for Keegan Murray, because the last thing I want to do is give you guys inaccurate information. Keegan Murray, he had 1 steal and 1 block. So actually went over 3 out of 13 games. He's gone over this. He's never gone over this in back-to-back games this season. So Keegan Murray to go under 1.5 steals and blocks. I think I might throw 3/4 of a unit on that. I think the hit rate's irresistible, and I didn't take it last time, and that was cash money. So let me take a look at what price I can get for that. Oh, love that. Plus 132. Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, it's right here. I didn't even have to open my sportsbook. It's on this screen. So Keegan Murray, I love the hit rate on that. Let's have a dip. But yeah, outside of that, the hit rates are really based on Laurie going under. But who else is there? Sabonis. I'll just do a run through on Sabonis for those of you who are interested. Points prop. He's hitting 6 out of 12, averaging 19.5. Scored 28 points against the Utah Jazz, though, when they last played. Very efficient, 13 from 18. So Sabonis in the similar matchup with no Walker Kessler. Yeah, I could see Domantas Sabonis getting some work done down below. But I think if you get a bet on him, it might be worth looking at his points plus assists just in case he falls short on the point side of thing. Because if he does fall short on points, he's usually making up for it on the assist side. That's probably a lean for me. That's one thing that I'd be thinking about. And for this Utah Jazz team, what do we got? Look at unders for Lauri Markkanen. I'm already betting the overs for John Collins. Sexton and Keontae George, I don't want to go anywhere near them. The Sexton, George, what's his cornbreaded name? Buddy Clarkson. Just the 3 of them. I feel like they're all doing the same thing all the time. It's pretty difficult to bet on them, so I'm not going to. So whether there's 1 game on the slate or there's 12 games on the slate, my goddamn videos are always going to go for this long. So I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to edit this thing, get it out to you guys. Wish you the best of luck. And be sure to check out those links in the video description. Support your boy. Sign up to Props Madness. Check out some of my partners, those apps. If you use them, they pay me a little bit of dough, and it all goes a long way. And if you're interested in checking out every single bet that I make, you can check out my winnable. You get the free version, which is the majority of my straight bets that I put out, or you can get the VIP, which is every single bet that I place on NFL, NBA, college sports, whatever it is. You'll get absolutely everything. I won't lie to you, we don't win every single day. Like we won 6 units today, but we lost 1 unit the day prior. Like it's very up and down, but that's sports betting, right? But if you want to support me, or you just want to see everything that I'm doing, you can check out the VIP on Winnable. Best of luck to you all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.